Hi, this is Mateo Ariento. I'm deciding to record a video right now for the simple fact that I've been doing research in a couple of my classes about marijuana. Now, I understand that this is a subject that a lot of people are tired of, mostly because A, they think that it's a dumb subject, and they're conservative in which they think that marijuana is illegal now. Why not just give it up and just let it stand as illegal? Whereas a lot of people are tired because they think they know the facts, and they think that their thoughts, and I'm not saying they don't know the facts, but I'm saying their thoughts are, I know the facts, I know I'm right, why can't this just change? I agree with them, actually. And I'm just saying, I'm not doing this because, I'm not going to go off on the run, marijuana, is this and that. I'm going to say that I support the legalization for marijuana for one thing, and then I'll give some reasons why I support this. The one reason I believe that marijuana should be legalized is the pure fact that alcohol and cigarettes are legal. Now, you may think, what does that have to do with it? Well, it has everything to do with it. I'm going to say this right now, and I know a lot of people are tired of it. Marijuana is, medically healthier than alcohol and cigarettes. Now, a lot of people have overdosed on alcohol, or at the very least died, similar to alcohol. And a lot of people are getting lung cancer from cigarettes. And while you do smoke marijuana, that could lead to lung cancer, the fact that you could eat marijuana and still get the high that you get if you smoke it leads that, if we just said that selling marijuana used to eat it was legal, would say that, there would be no really deaths related to marijuana. If you're supporting that we illegalize all drugs, alcohol, tobacco, everything, to say if there's anything that could be deadly, that could alter the mind, that's dangerous, it should be illegal, then actually I'm going to say that I'm really on your side. I'm not agreeing with you, but I'm more respectful of someone who says marijuana should be illegal, and then when you bring up the facts, they don't care. And then if you ask, what about alcohol and cigarettes? Well, and then they say that should be legal. I respect a person that will say all drugs should be illegal than to someone who says that only certain drugs should be legal. Now, what the problem with this is that a lot of people are saying, well, people, drug dealers smoke marijuana, and that gives a bad reputation to marijuana. The problem is that same sort of thing happened during the Prohibition time of the 1920s and the 1920s and 30s. What happened was that, as you may know, just because alcohol was illegal doesn't necessarily mean that alcohol didn't exist in America, and people like Al Capone profited so much from alcohol distribution and bootlegging. The problem was alcohol that was made in America during that time period is nothing like alcohol that was made now. The alcohol that was made during then was usually made in bathtubs and in unsanitary conditions that led to it being more dangerous than if you picked up a Budweiser from your local bottle king. And the same thing should be said for marijuana. The problem a lot of people have with marijuana is that if they buy from some dealer from the corner, they don't know whether or not it's just pure marijuana that they can smoke safely, or if it's going to be laced with something. And a lot of people who die when they smoke marijuana, all of them die because it was laced with something. You cannot overdose on marijuana. There are medical facts to prove that. I'm not going to get into that. If you die from smoking a blunt, it's definitely because your marijuana was laced. And this is very, traumatizing, because that can easily be solved with legalizing it. Because then, the FTC, the FTC could check it, can make sure that it's safe and follows federal guidelines, and then, you can buy it from your local Quick Check. And a lot of people will try to say, that's bad, something you could buy from drug dealers now, could you buy a Quick Check? Well, it's perfectly fine compared to the stuff that you could buy from Quick Check now, such as Marlboros and Black and Milds. It's very hard to say that you support cigarettes and alcohol and not marijuana. Mostly because marijuana, if there's any drug of the three that should be legalized and other two outlawed, it should be marijuana. And marijuana should be legal, and cigarettes and or tobacco and alcohol should be illegal. And the problem with this is, I support cigarettes and alcohol being legal for the pure fact that we know what happens when you make something illegal during the Prohibition era, because, that was totally a safe time in places like Chicago. And plus, as a lot of people say, they're not going to legalize it for one simple fact. They're humongous businesses. Do you know how much money the government gets from cigarette sales alone, especially when they just continue to tax them as a kind of way to get people to quit, because they feel, if they aren't able to afford it, maybe they'll have to quit, which they know is untrue. That's just ridiculous, because then they wouldn't put so much faith in taxing it if their one gamble is that people will stop buying it, because then they'll become reliant on the money they generate from cigarette sales. And the same could be said for alcohol. There's a lot of stuff that you can get that the government gets from alcohol sales. And so if they legalize it, that's a lot of money that they generate in taxes. They go straight down the barrel. And the same thing could be done for marijuana. I know a lot of people are saying if we legalize marijuana, it shouldn't be taxed. But then if they say that, then they should just stop talking, because then it won't happen. The government needs a reason to legalize something, and the biggest reason is they can generate money from it. If we legalize and tax it the same way we do with cigarettes, then you know how many people will buy it from Quick Check, and then you don't know how much money the government will generate. And the biggest thing is that marijuana was legal during the times that the Constitution and everything was founded. Thomas Jefferson was actually the one person that grew marijuana plants in his backyard. The reason why marijuana was illegalized was purely because of racist overtones. I mean, it was during the times of James Cal Polk, in which we were involved with the war with Mexico, and we needed to generate morale for the war. And because marijuana was such a good trade in Mexico, we used that as a way. They use that as a way of saying, if Mexicans or think marijuana is so great, then it must be so evil. Let's illegalize it. And that happened. That wasn't immediately the federal government, just saying, let's just illegalize it. That was, states like Texas, California, not Texas, California, all the western states that eventually spread east until eventually it reached the federal government, where they eventually just nationally illegalized it. And I'm going to go out and say that if the founding fathers were here today, they would definitely support the legalization of marijuana, just like back in the day where they would have supported the legalization of alcohol, purely because it's Ben Franklin that was the one that said alcohol was probably one of the greatest gifts from God. So I'm Metal Ariento, and I'm signing out on the premise that, look, we should legalize marijuana simply because alcohol and cigarettes are legal. So why not legalize marijuana? I'd rather have my kids smoke up a joint rather than smoke a cigarette or drink an entire bottle of Jack Daniels. Thank you, and good night.